Alright, we are here again in Anime Vanguards. No more Godzilla, guys. I was just kidding. It was too much. But today we're gonna be talking about what I think of the update. I've had some people ask me about it recently in some comments, so I figured I'd come and make a video about it like I do for every AV update. Then talking about if the 46 days this update took was worth it. And if you guys haven't already joined my Discord server as well, I'm doing a giveaway for 5 of the new battle passes. Go down there, join it up, and there's also the other cool things in there, so stick around too. But with all that being said, let me know what you guys think about this update in the comments down below. And if you guys are excited, let's do it! Yeah, guys, go subscribe. Come on, we're almost at 10.5 thousand. And then next after that is 11,000 subscribers. Alright, guys. First off, timestamps will be on the screen. I plan on going for more of like the CCU and the stats of the actual updates, because that's just like the first thing. It doesn't really mean that much besides numbers. Then I'll be talking about the actual content of the update, whether it's interesting or not. And then I'm going to talk about the reroll situation or just scenario, because I feel like I've switched up a little bit, and every game is just kind of similar now, and I want to talk about that too. Alright, so first off, the update peaked at 158,000 players, but this time it did not go back up after the initial drop. Like the peak was at when it first dropped, but it did not go up again. And it hasn't been up at 158,000. It has some it's going in waves, but slowly. Hopefully it stays around 100,000 CCU. It has not dropped below 100,000 CCU yet, but it might do that. And then before that, it was also rocking around like 20,000 players. It was getting almost to like the 10,000s, I think. But they managed to do a pretty good job having spikes pretty often. And also the average playtime did go up after the update dropped. You can see on the screen right now, there's like a little graph or whatnot. It starts like around, I think it's like 10 minutes originally, or like before that's like 10, 20, 30. And then we actually peak at 40 minutes played on November 3rd at like 2 a.m. or whatnot, which is pretty good. That means the average player is getting in there and playing a good amount of AV before hopping off. And that basically sums up for the numbers and whatnot. Pretty solid update. 158,000 players is a new CCU record from the past 30 days, but they last updated in 30 days, more than 30 days ago, so it doesn't really mean that much. Alright, guys, next is for the actual content. Well, first off, if you want to know what you're watching in the background, it is the Anime Vanguards Dungeon Act 8. There is currently, for content-wise, playable games, they dropped a new dungeon with 9 acts, the final act being a more special one, but everyone besides 8 and 9 are just literally maps that was already in the game, or were already in the game, which kind of feels like there's not much to do, which I think there is not much content in this update. Now, don't get me wrong. I really think that the units here are super fun and unique and just cool. Like, I've never seen a game add things like Hollow Knight and Godzilla into a tower defense game. It's super unique. But as for the ways to get them and grind, it's super redundant, and the only way to actually grind them efficiently is to macro them. And I don't really blame anybody for macroing because it's so boring. It's the same stage over and over and over again. It's not really anything unique. It's just a stage with the bosses are actually just going to be the developers and whatnot, and the final boss is actually yourself. And then the other thing is, too, the Act 8 that you're watching right now is very not beginner-friendly, okay? So if you want to get to the actual Act 9, which is the best thing to grind, you have to be Act 8, which is, it's pretty hard without Monarchs. I don't think it's possible without Monarchs doing it solo. So with this kind of lack of content for an Update 9, or a full, 0.0 update, not 0.5, it just seems like the 46 days was not worth it. It was not worth it. Now, don't get me wrong. I know DMCA played a part in it, and they had to, get over that and get over that. But still, 46 days is just not acceptable to drop an update in between times. They did do a good job, though, at keeping us a little bit entertained with, mini updates like that. And the familiars and the eyes in the skin and whatnot. That was pretty good on them, but I think it was too much. It was too long. The player count showed, and then Last Stand took its spot at the top. I think it's currently at the top as well right now. And AV just took too long. Plain and simple, it took too long. I'm hoping with the MCA being done in an update already, they can kind of get over that. And if this update, next update 9.5, does not drop in the next 20 days, it might be on the, downside, bad side for AV. If we're getting updates like this, now, I don't think it's going to happen often. Like I said, I think the MCA was a big part of it, and you don't really have to worry about this in the future. Hopefully. But as for, what was in this update, it was just super small, but the DMCA really dragged it longer than it had to be. But yeah, in the end, I think content is boring as crap, but the units are super interesting. Also, another thing to put in here that I didn't mention in the beginning is the bugs, okay? This update seemed to be pretty buggy, at least from what I was seeing. I mean, first off, when you first open your units, half your units are disappeared. Like, they're just not there. I don't know what is up with that and how it hasn't been fixed or why it can't be fixed, but it's just a small thing that it's just really nitpicky, but it makes a big difference on just the game in general. If you go into a game and like half your units are just gone, you have to search for them or make it like fixed or whatever, find a way to do that. It's just not a good look. Like, it's just not a good look for AV. I've also seen some other people talk about the bugs or whatnot with things. And don't get me started on the rerolls too. I'm not gonna, I mean, this is not the reroll situation that I'm talking about at the beginning, but there was a duping glitch with rerolls that basically made it so people could start getting like infinite rerolls, or at least visually, I think. I don't know what it was actually, because I really didn't see much of it, but people got banned for it too. I don't know how it came to be, but I mean, it's just insane. Not to mention, like, we already know this took 46 days too. So, you know, you think that they cleared the DMCA stuff or figured out how to get past that, and the game, which is not buggy. All right, maybe they should have spent more time in maintenance. I would not have cared about that at all if the update was actually, you know, clean and smooth. But just like the little thing with like the inventory thing, it just like really ticks you off going into the game and not being able to see all your units, or just some little small things that are still bugged. And we had a theme with this for AV for a long time. PvP literally just got fixed like a couple weeks ago, and it had been like 4 months prior to that, and it just got fixed. It's just, I don't know. Like I said, I think this is more of a slower time for AV. They still managed to get a good update out in terms of units, whatnot, and grinding-ish, like we already talked about. But I think I just hope they can get back on their ball and, you know, get back to the AV that we all know and love. All right, and finally, guys, for the reroll actual situation, not with the duping, but how I think the state of rerolls is going. So first off, I don't know why I wasn't thinking about this much previously, but we all know that originally tower defense games didn't have traits. Like, if you go back to the old ASTD back in the day, if you guys played original tower defense games like ASTD or UTD, they never had traits. And I personally liked it better that way. And recently, I've also noticed in these games that have traits, they've gotten so much better at just giving people infinite traits. All right, I said this in like an Anime Last 10 video and some other videos, but when everybody has something, nobody really actually has it, or it has no value. So when we're over here getting 5,000 rerolls from bundles, and anybody can get whatever trait they want in units, a Monarch or an Ethereal or a Deadeye really has no value, because almost anybody can get it. Same for Anime Last 10. A Glitch has no value. Glitch and Mystical has no value, because everybody can get it. So essentially, it's like we're going back to when traits didn't have to be relied on to play a game. Alright, this was big when AST first died off and AA came into the game, Anime Adventures, because it was so pay to win. You were out here spending hundreds of dollars just to get 1,000 rerolls, okay? Now you're over here getting 500 rerolls for 80 Robux, or getting 2,000 rerolls for AFKing one night in ALS. But like I said, I don't actually care about how rerolls are easy to get now, and you cannot deny they are not easy to get. Or at least, sorry, I shouldn't put that like that. Every game they're easy to get besides AV, which are making them easy to get, but they're putting that lower tag for price tag on them. Like, if you guys did not notice, I swear they're making the traits give you more each update, but keeping the same $9.99 or $9.999, whatever it is. Which, yeah, it's not like they're easier to grind, but they're way more accessible. And like, look, anybody could have got 500 rerolls for spending 80 Robux. Like, there's no way you don't have 80 Robux to spend. Like, literally 80 cents. Less than $1, you get 500 rerolls. All right, that was like basically free. It was basically free. So like I said, originally I was kind of getting mad at how they lost their value, but to be honest, I never wanted traits to be in these games anyways. And they're just like a cool addition, seeing the numbers be bigger and just like having that kind of like being able to say like, oh, I have Monarch on this unit, or oh, I have Glitch on this unit, or something like that. But it's nice that they're so accessible now. Like, anybody can get these. Now, AV's a little bit better on this though, because all the units don't need Monarch, so you can go over there and get like an Ethereal or a Deadeye if you really need to. ALS is completely fried with their systems and whatnot. And, you know, same for like any boss studio games out there. I don't know how they just can't balance their games, but they just cannot balance their games. So I do think rerolls are a lot more accessible, but I don't really care anymore, because again, it's just taking us back to the old days, because when everybody has something, there's no value to it. It's just like the value is lost. So that basically sums up what I think about the updates. In summary, they had a pretty good CCU. They also, you know, had cool units. Content-wise, it was kind of boring. Bugs was kind of messed up. 46 days was too long. And then the rerolls are, I guess, they're great. They're getting better. We can all get them. So there it is, guys. That's what I think about the update. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. And if you made it all the way to the end, I don't know, comment cheeseburger. If I see a cheeseburger, you know what? Like, you're going to man. But thank you all for watching. I'll see you next one, guys. Peace out.